The Department of Labor investigated and then filed a lawsuit against an ESOP plan sponsor, its board of directors, and its selling shareholders in the Bowers case. In 2021, the court found no violations of ERISA for a transaction that took place 9 years earlier in 2012. I know a little bit about it, and it sounds like kind of a horror story and shows, government gone wild. Can you describe what happened in this case and the cost of defending it?
This is perhaps one of the best examples of the abuse that we've been talking about at EBSA that one can give. So in this case, literally during the deposition, the investigator was asked, "Why did you go after Bowers and Kubota?" And I quote, "My supervisor, he gave me an assignment to find some ESOP cases in Hawaii," end quote. And again later, quote, "My understanding is the department needed to have some exposure in Hawaii," end quote. 9 years later, and millions of dollars in legal fees, there were no findings. In fact, the so-called expert that was hired to provide the expert valuation on behalf of the Department of Labor was completely discredited because he made an arithmetic error. And had his error been corrected and was known during discovery, had it been corrected, his valuation would have even been higher than what the ESOP actually paid for the value of the company. Since that time, the value of the company, since it was sold to the employees through an ESOP, has gone up more than 1,700%. These employees have benefited greatly. During the judge's ruling on this case, the judge said that this was not decided against DOL for a want of trying. It was decided because of a lack of evidence. The Department of Labor pursued this case relentlessly. The trustee died. And rather than dropping the case against the trustee, they replaced the trustee with the widow. That's how relentless they were in pursuit of this case, and they lost on every single case.
Do you mind if I ask, and if you've got more context, you can share it, but does the government reimburse the company that has to spend the millions of dollars defending against what sounds like a spurious and kind of
They have to
waste
sue.
of time?
The company has to sue in order to recover some of those costs.
So they have to go deeper into the hole to pay more lawyers to try to get paid for the lawyers they already had to pay for because the government came after them.
In this case in particular, Mr. Bowers, who was the wrong Army Ranger to pick a fight with, he tried taking this all the way to the Supreme Court, and it is almost impossible for a defendant to recover their litigation expenses.
So the government can make stuff up, or actually just sort of target you for no apparent reason, it sounds like, because someone's boss needed somebody to have something to do. You can spend millions of dollars on lawyers. You win, your name gets cleared after 9 years, and then you still lose. Like he didn't win. If you have millions of dollars of legal fees, you still lost because you lost money that you had and you had distractions from operating your actual business. Any other thoughts on this case that you'd want to share?
There are lots of other thoughts that I would like to share, but unfortunately, we probably don't have the time to do it. It's interesting. I've spoken at length with Mr. Bowers about this case, and when I asked him why he chose to fight, and he is a very rare example of this, because in almost every example, it is a more prudent decision to just exercise your insurance policy, settle it out, and move on with life. He says, EBSA made it so easy because they were so unreasonable in their approach. The treatment of Bowers and Kubota in this case is no surprise to just about anyone in the ESOP community who's been investigated. And it's the type of behavior that we saw from the EBSA attorneys and their approach. Go find a case in Hawaii. And like I said, 9 years later and millions of dollars in defense, and this is where they are.